They thought the worst was already over. They were wrong. Across the east, a storm was rising far deadlier than anyone imagined. On the other side of the world, silence was about to break forever. And then, history changed forever. The world believed the war was nearing its end. But in the east, something unstoppable was rising. Across the Pacific, silence was about to break. And then the world erupted into chaos. To understand the darkness, we must return to London, 1940. London was no longer safe as the first wave arrived. Then, the sky ignited with fire. Families ran into the darkness beneath the city. Through the night, the bombing never stopped. And yet, this was only the beginning. Fire spread through the streets, consuming everything in its path. Below the city, fear grew louder than the bombs above. Even in chaos, brave men refused to give up. The night brought no peace, only destruction. But the world had not yet seen its darkest hour. Its darkest hour. June 1941, Hitler made the most dangerous decision of the entire war. The silence was shattered. Thousands of German guns opened fire together. At dawn, millions of German soldiers crossed the Soviet border. It was the beginning of the largest land invasion in human history. The Soviet defenders were caught completely by surprise. Within minutes, the front line began to collapse. By the end of the first day, Hitler's armies had pushed deep into Soviet territory, and the largest land invasion in history had only just begun. But the Soviet Union refused to surrender. Across the burning front, brave soldiers stood their ground. In June 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. The largest invasion force in history advanced rapidly, overwhelming Soviet defenses and capturing vast territories. But the Soviet resistance grew stronger every hour. What was expected to be a quick victory was becoming a brutal war of endurance. The advance was still unstoppable, but every mile forward stretched Germany's supply lines and strengthened Soviet resistance. Germany kept moving forward, but the Soviet Union refused to break. Every new mile demanded an even greater sacrifice. But the Soviet Union refused to surrender. Across the burning front, ordinary soldiers stood together and fought back.
Hold the line, another! Medic, medic!
the fighting spread across the entire front. Villages burned, roads collapsed, and neither side backed down. Across the battlefield, the fighting became uncontrollable. No clear front line remained, only chaos and fire. The advance continued, but the further they moved, the more fragile their supply lines became. Distance was becoming their greatest enemy. Germany kept advancing, but the Soviet Union was vast and endlessly reinforced. The war was changing its shape. Behind every advance, families were forced to leave everything they owned, and for countless people, the war had already reached their homes. But the fighting was far from over. New Soviet defensive lines were forming, and every kilometer forward demanded another brutal battle. The road ahead led toward the Soviet heartland. Every strategic town became another battlefield, and the resistance only grew stronger. The deeper the invasion went, the harder the resistance became. Every victory demanded an even greater sacrifice.
Medic, hurry! Stay with me!
Summer had not ended, but the war had already become a fight for survival. Neither army was willing to give up.
Medic, carry him! Stay with us!
With every passing day, the Soviet defenses became stronger, and Germany's greatest advantage began to fade. Every new attack was answered with fierce resistance. The Eastern Front was becoming a battle of endurance. Day after day, the battlefield demanded more lives, yet neither army was prepared to step back. The battlefield stretched far beyond the horizon. Every new position captured was defended with relentless determination. Every mile gained came with an unbearable cost. Both armies were fighting beyond the limits of endurance. The advance continued, but the pace was no longer the same. Resistance was growing stronger with every passing day.
Medic, help him! Move! Stay with us!
The battlefield kept expanding, but so did the challenges. Every passing day tested the strength of both armies. The battlefield seemed endless, and every mile stretched the limits of both armies. The war was becoming a relentless test of endurance. By now, both armies understood the truth. This war would not be won quickly.
Forward! Keep the convoy moving! Stay alert! Medic, help him! Move him now! Stay with us!
What began as a rapid invasion was becoming a relentless war of endurance. On the Eastern Front, every new dawn brought another battle. Every passing day, the battlefield demanded even more. Men, machines, and hope were slowly being exhausted. War is not a distant threat. It is coming for us all, and this is what it looks like. Without fuel, even the strongest army could not advance. Across the Eastern Front, every supply convoy became a lifeline. Every destroyed bridge, every burning convoy slowed the advance. The battlefield was now testing logistics as much as courage. Every convoy that survived kept the offensive alive, but every convoy destroyed brought the front one step closer to collapse. Fuel, ammunition, and time were becoming just as valuable as victory itself.
Bring another stretcher! Go below! Help him, it hurts!
Every mile gained came at a greater cost. Every kilometer forward demanded more fuel, more ammunition, and more lives. Every kilometer was purchased with sacrifice. Both armies were paying a terrible price for every step forward. The victory still remained uncertain. The battlefield can continue to consume everything placed before it. Exhaustion had become another enemy. Even the strongest soldiers could not fight forever.
Keep moving! Hold the line! Bring Normanton! Medic! More stretchers! Help him! Ah! It hurts!
By now, both armies understood. This would not be a short campaign.
I gotta get another train moves! It's on the train! moving! Clear the road!
The Soviet Union seemed endless. With every mile, Germany's challenge grew even greater.
Protect the rail, keep the convoy moving. Bring more fuel, repair the bridge, target the trains! Hurry, stop the line!
Every destroyed bridge, every damaged railway slowed the advance, and time was beginning to favor the defenders. The Soviet defenders were buying precious time. Every delay made the German advance even more difficult. The offensive was still moving, but its momentum was beginning to fade.
Keep the convoy moving! Clear the road there then! Root out the delay!
Every passing day made victory more difficult.
Time itself was becoming unfollowed. Cammy, destroy the supply line! Steer toward the powerful enemy!
Each new advance came at a higher price. The deeper they moved, the harder victory became. On the Eastern Front, logistics meant survival. Without fuel and ammunition, even the strongest army could not advance.
Clear the road! Lift the bridge section!
Germany was still advancing, but the Eastern Front was becoming far more dangerous than anyone had imagined.